Traveling in Japan has made me feel like a small child so many times, and I was curious to see what their experience was like in this country. Yukiko is a fairly typical 8-year-old girl. She practices piano between 1 and 2 hours a day, a very rigorous schedule. I was curious what a day in her life was like, so I went with her to school. Yukiko is in the 3rd grade. They wear uniforms. These are the uniforms that they have for outdoor activities and recreation. I was able to watch a gym class where they were beating a drum and doing all kinds of very elaborate gymnastics, practicing for a program for the parents. I snuck a peek in the library, which looks like a library at any school anywhere else in the world. They even had manga or anime comic books, but they were educational. This is a history book, the history of Japan. They had a book about American school children. The complexity of Japanese writing means that reading and writing are important parts of a young child's education in Japan. I stumbled upon this calligraphy class where the students were learning to draw the character for big or great. Afterwards, they all clean up themselves. Yeah, they're using black ink, which is a nightmare for most teachers, I think. But the children cleaned up their spills all by themselves. Japanese children clean their own classrooms. There are no janitors in the school. Order is very important, and there's a place for everything. These are bags for the students' slippers, and then in the bathroom they have separate slippers, and they're actually graded on how straight they align the slippers. The students do their own traffic patrol to and from the school. Leadership is very important. Every day there's a class leader that directs the class. In this 6th grade class, students were composing waka, which are poems of 31 syllables. Every student had done his or her homework the night before, and they copied out their poems onto these blue pieces of paper, which the teacher then collected and posted anonymously. Each student was given a number so that nobody knew whose poem belonged to whom. The teacher then read out each poem to the class, and the students were allowed to vote on the ones that they liked. In addition to voting, students were allowed to give speeches in favor of the poems that they liked the most. In the end, it was this boy whose poem was considered the best, and afterwards the class was formally dismissed again by the appointed class leader. They thanked the teacher for the lesson. Now it was lunchtime, and everyone participated. The food is cooked in the central kitchen and delivered to the school, but it's the students themselves who serve the food. They eat in their own classrooms, they rearrange the desks themselves, and everyone has a job. Some students were passing out milk, others were putting out the dishes, some were serving, making sure that everyone had an equal portion. These boys were handing out Jell-O. What was amazing for me to watch was that 1 minute this was a normal classroom, everyone was sitting down having a Japanese lesson, and in less than 8 minutes it became a cafeteria and everyone sitting down for lunch. The mood at lunch was very social, like a school cafeteria anywhere else in the world. Kids were having a good time. The food was different. We had udon noodles and tempura, which is very Japanese. But the kids were relaxed and playing, having a good time. After lunch, the children cleaned up everything themselves. They washed the dishes, they separated the trash for recycling. Then they all head into the hallway where they brush their teeth. What's most amazing is the students grade themselves on their daily performance. They give themselves grades on their attitude, on their dress, their appearance. But even with all of this discipline, they were just kids and they were having a lot of fun.